In a future dominated by advanced technology and galactic empires, there existed an arena unlike any other, a place where the greatest warriors from across the stars fought not only for glory but for survival. The arena, known simply as the Crucible, was located on a barren moon, far from the reaches of any planetary system, where it remained hidden and controlled by a powerful, shadowy organization. Every year, warriors, criminals, and slaves from every corner of the galaxy were forced to compete in this merciless bloodsport, facing off against each other in brutal, life-or-death battles. The stakes were high. Victory meant riches, fame, and freedom. Defeat meant death. But for one human, the arena would become something more, a stage for a legend that would echo across the universe. The Crucible was vast, a sprawling coliseum designed to hold thousands of spectators, with towering walls made of reinforced alloys and countless holographic screens projecting the faces of the cheering crowd. The ground was scarred from previous contests, littered with the wreckage of destroyed combatants and weapons. It was here that the galaxy's most dangerous and skilled fighters, both human and alien, came to prove their worth. Yet, no one had ever made it through the arena's brutal gauntlet without breaking, without being consumed by the violence. Until one day, a single human, an ordinary man named Marcus, entered the arena and changed everything. Marcus was not a warrior by nature. He had been a former soldier, retired from a life of combat after a devastating war had left him disillusioned. His entry into the Crucible had been accidental. Captured during a raid on a remote colony, Marcus was sold into slavery, his life now nothing more than a bargaining chip for the highest bidder. When the bidding process failed, he was thrown into the arena, just another body to be used as entertainment for the galactic elite. He entered the Crucible with no weapons, no experience in gladiatorial combat, and no hope. His only advantage was his survival instinct, a remnant of the soldier he once was. The first few rounds were sheer chaos. Marcus had no training in the ways of the arena. He was thrust into combat against beasts, criminals, and genetically engineered monstrosities, all of which had been bred for one purpose: to kill. Yet, Marcus survived. With each battle, he learned, adapting quickly to the brutal tactics required to endure. He fought not with strength, but with cunning and quick thinking, using the environment to his advantage. He knew how to avoid fatal blows, how to outsmart his opponents, and how to find the small weaknesses that others overlooked. He had no grand strategy, only the determination to keep going, to stay alive long enough to escape the nightmare that had become his life. As Marcus moved through the rounds, his reputation began to grow. At first, he was seen as a fluke, just another weak human who would be eliminated quickly. But as the days turned into weeks, and the bodies of more seasoned warriors piled up, it became clear: Marcus was different. He had become a symbol of hope for the slaves and prisoners in the lower levels of the arena, a human who could survive against impossible odds. The crowds began to cheer for him, and even the highest-ranking officials in the arena started to take notice of his progress. He was no longer just a contestant, he was a force to be reckoned with. But the deeper Marcus advanced, the more he realized that the arena was more than just a place for combat. It was a prison. The higher-ups in the Crucible, led by a secretive organization known as the Syndicate, used the arena to control the galaxy's most powerful factions. They manipulated the fighters, orchestrating matches and fixing outcomes to serve their interests. The arena was a way to keep the galaxy's leaders distracted, to maintain control over the masses through violence and spectacle. And Marcus had become the perfect pawn in their game, until he realized the truth. In the final round of the arena's gauntlet, Marcus faced the Syndicate's champion, an alien warrior named Karath, known for his ruthless efficiency in the arena. Karath was a towering figure, genetically modified for strength and speed, and had never been defeated. The battle between Marcus and Karath was legendary. The odds were overwhelmingly against Marcus, and the Syndicate was confident in Karath's victory. But Marcus had learned too much, and his mind had become sharper than any weapon. He used everything he had learned about the arena, exploiting every weakness in Karath's form and breaking through his defenses. The fight was brutal, a clash of wills as much as it was of bodies. But in the end, Marcus triumphed. He defeated Karath, the undefeated champion, using nothing but his wits and his indomitable will to survive. The crowd erupted in cheers, but Marcus was not interested in the fame or the glory. He had won, yes, but the real battle was just beginning. The Syndicate, angered by his victory, saw him as a threat to their power. They tried to silence him, to erase his existence from the history of the arena. But Marcus had become a symbol, not just for humanity, but for all those who had been oppressed and forced into the arena's brutal system. His victory sparked a rebellion, a movement that spread across the galaxy as the enslaved fighters and the oppressed people of the universe rallied behind him. In the end, Marcus didn't just become a legend in the arena. He became a symbol of resistance, the man who fought and won not for glory, but for freedom. The syndicates hold over the arena, and the galaxy began to crumble, and the arena, once a place of endless death and suffering, became a symbol of hope for all who dreamed of a better future. Marcus had started as nothing more than a slave in a brutal world, but he left it as a hero, a man who had slain the arena that had killed millions and turned it into the stage for his own legend.